Hi there, Tim Bauer here from LiveVideoGuitarLessons.com with the practice tip of the day. This one is for the beginning player, and today I want to continue our discussion on just covering the basics of reading sheet music. Some other videos on kind of getting started with it are over on the website, www.livevideoguitarlessons.com. And I have a kind of a reference sheet under the on the main page there. It's under the Study Aids tab, and it's a PDF file. And this will make a lot more sense if you download it or look at it and have it in front of you while we're talking about this. But today I want to continue our discussion on note durations. That was the last video we shot, and today I need to cover some different ways to change note durations based on ties and dots. All the notes have their own durations. Like a quarter note gets 1 beat, an eighth note gets a half a beat, 16th note gets a quarter of a beat, and so on and so on. There are other ways in sheet music to change note durations by tying stuff. That's not the technical term. Tying notes and placing dots after the notes. Let's start with dots. I'm going to set this guitar down for a second, and I'm going to turn the auto. I'm going to be going in and out of focus here because I have to turn the autofocus on so that it will focus on the sheet music. So I'm just going to hold up some sheet music here. This is just some public domain, Beethoven music here. And I'm going to jump down here to the bottom. We'll start with these tied notes. This over here, I'm trying to read through the back. These are tied notes. And by the way, anytime you have, we didn't cover this before, but anytime you have two notes on the same stem, that means you have to play them at the same time. So this is a big C chord right here, and all these ties, when you have the arced lines attaching the notes, that means that you play this note over here, and I wish I had some tied notes that were just one. Let's just think about the one at the top there. So when I play the first note over here, but I don't play any of these over here. I just hold it for the duration of that note. So let me look at the sheet music here. All right, so this is a half note. Let's forget the others for a second. So that's a half. Hopefully you can see this on the sheet there on the screen. These are half notes. That gets 2 beats. For this song, you're supposed to hold that part, at least the way I wrote it up on the music for guitar lessons. You hold it for another entire measure, which is another 4 beats. So this is which is 6 altogether. So we get 2 beats over here, and these are half notes, and which means half a measure or 2 beats. These are whole notes over here, which means a whole measure or 4 beats in 4/4 time. I'm going to do another video on time signatures. Most music is in 4/4 time. Probably 90% of all music is in 4/4 time. But just what that means is the bottom number means quarter notes get 1 beat, and the top number means there's 4 quarter notes or 4 beats in that measure. So we'll cover that in a different video, just so we know what we're talking about here. All right, so we hold this for 2, and then we don't play any of these, but we hold it for another 4. So this is telling me that I have to hold all these for once I hit this gets held for 6 beats. That's all the ties mean. You don't ever hit the other. You don't ever hit the other note on the far side of the tie. All right, and the other thing I want to talk about are dotted notes. All right, so dots do not have a time value unto themselves. Dots equal half the time value of whatever note they follow. So, sorry about all the math, but we got to cover a little bit here. So, like a dotted half note gets 2 beats, and the dot following it gets half of that. So, a dotted half note gets the 2 beats plus the 1 beat of the dot, and that's 3 beats. A dotted quarter note gets 1.5 beats. It gets the quarter note beat, which is 1, and then the dot equals half of that, so it's 1.5. A dotted eighth note equals the half beat plus a quarter of a beat. And the easiest way to think about that, excuse me, the dot equals the next smaller note value. So a dotted half note is a half note plus a quarter note. Dotted quarter note is a quarter note plus an eighth note. Dotted eighth note plus a 16th note. And when they get smaller, it's a little hard to count, but just you need to fit in there mathematically correct. So over here, and by the way, and so on. Dotted 32nd note is a 32nd note plus a 64th note, and so on. So anyway, so these are two dotted quarter notes. So let me get that where you can see that. So those two dotted quarter notes over there, the quarter note itself equals 1 beat, and all this does, it extends it for another half a beat. So I'm gonna, maybe you can do like a screenshot on this real quick, because I'm gonna play this, and this is just simple two-part harmony for this song. And you've heard this a million times. It's you know, public domain music. People use it a lot in movies, and that's why I'm using it. It's public domain. I don't want to get in any copyright, infringement troubles. Stuff that was written, 200 years ago, 300 years ago, it's public domain now. No copyright problems. But what that is, it's just this. I'm gonna play. And by the way, just notice that all across all through here, these are all quarter notes. So this is all very, 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 very even until you get to this measure. And I'm just going to play through that measure. All right, so what that's telling me to play is this. I'm going to turn the autofocus off so I won't be all in and out of focus. All right, there we go. So. And that's where we start getting into the other, to the dotted note. So yeah. So we have that. Longer, and then a quick one, and the quick one is this eighth note instead of the quarter note. Now we're just holding that second, the other half of that measure, the half notes there. So we have da da da, and everything else is just even. So that measure is except without me messing up. So anyway. That covers, I think that finishes up our discussion on note durations. I just wanted to make sure my goal in this short series of learning how to read sheet music, obviously, music theory is a huge subject, and you can spend a lot of time with it. I just want to get you comfortable with it. I want you to be able to just read the basic things, so you can put a piece of music in front of it you never heard before and decipher it. That's all. I don't want you to be intimidated by, what looks like a lot of random marks on a page, because it's not. It makes a lot of sense once you get used to it. So, anyway, thanks for tuning in for this practice tip. Tune in again tomorrow for another one, and I will see you next time. Thanks.